Welcome back to another fabulous episode of the Franchise Fit Podcast. I'm your host, Lance Graulich. Another solo episode. I'm enjoying the heck out of this. But guess what? Next month, I'm in person doing face-to-face interviews at the IFA, the International Franchise Association Conference in Las Vegas next month. That's February. So today's episode.
Up next,
I'm going to give you a benchmark that Wall Street uses so you can judge opportunity like an adult. So here's the question nobody asks out loud. If I'm going to take on business ownership risk, can I beat the market? Here's the equation you need to tattoo on your brain. This episode's sponsored by SEO Samba. Empower your franchise with predictable results and AI-driven marketing. How much do franchise owners make? We're talking real numbers, real math, the return on investment. Let's call it benchmarks. I truly believe one of the most Googled questions about franchising is, how much do you make? And I'm going to warn you that most people ask it the wrong way because franchising is massive. The International Franchise Association's 2025 results, 851,000 franchise establishments, 9+ million jobs, 936 billion in economic output. So yeah, there are franchise owners making $50,000 a year, and there are franchise owners making $50,000 every 2 weeks. But if you don't understand the math, you'll get hypnotized by revenue and you'll end up disappointed. Or worse, stuck in research mode forever. Today I'm breaking it down in a way you can actually use. I'm going to give you a benchmark that Wall Street uses so you can judge opportunity like an adult. Here's the myth. If a franchise does $1 million a year, the owner makes $1 million. No. Revenue is not income. Revenue is the scoreboard. Income is what you keep after the entire game is over. And depending on the model, that gap between revenue and take home can be really painful. Let's talk reality. Most people have no framework, so they swing between two extremes. Franchising is a scam, or this is passive income and I'll be on the beach. Neither is true. Here's the truth. There's a wide range of outcomes because there's a wide range of models and execution matters. And a lot of people forget about that. That's why we don't chase a franchise. We chase a fit. Your skills, your goals, your budget, your market. It's got to work in your market. Before we talk franchise income, we need an ROI benchmark. Wall Street is the benchmark. It has a standard scoreboard, the S&P 500. Historically, the Standard & Poor's 500 has returned around 10.5% annually since the 1950s. So here's the question nobody asks out loud. If I'm going to take on business ownership risk, can I beat the market? And this is where business ownership gets interesting because owning a business can come with many advantages that stocks don't. 3 big ones: tax advantages, legit business expenses, and business write-offs can reduce taxable income when done correctly with a pro. Number 2, leverage. With stocks, most people invest what they have. With business, you can use SBA loans and business financing to acquire a franchise and or expand, and the unit economics support it. It's all about leverage. Equity, the third component, is the biggest one. You don't just get paid in cash flow. You can get paid again on an exit. But if you sell a business, many deals trade on a multiple of EBITDA or cash flow. Commonly in the multiple range, SMB owners talk about 3 to 5 to even 6 times cash flow, depending on the industry. So now the question becomes, how much do you make while you own it? And what could it be worth on the exit? This is why the smartest people want to buy a business. Cash flow is king. Let me tell you a quick story. And this is a composite of hundreds of conversations I've had. A guy calls me, and he's a corporate executive, smart guy, analytical. He says, Lance, I'm looking at a franchise that does about $1 million a year. If I buy it, I should be good, right? And I ask, cool, what's profit margins? What's the industry? All I hear is silence. Because nobody brags about margins on TikTok. Then I ask, how many employees does it take to run this business? Once again, silence. Then I ask, how many hours a week are you planning to work? Silence. Total silence. And then, well, Lance, I assumed it's semi-absentee, and right? Yeah, right there, that's the trap, and people don't buy franchises. They buy this fantasy and then get introduced to payroll, expenses, things they never expected. Here's the equation you need to tattoo on your brain. Owner take-home pay equals revenue times margin minus debt, manager's payroll, and all the mistakes. That's it. Let's talk margin for a second. Restaurants are the perfect example of why revenue can be misleading. Industry sources often cite that restaurant profit margins can be very thin, commonly in the single digits. So do the math. If a location does $1 million a year at 5% profit, $50,000. Could some operators do better? Absolutely. But you have to understand what model you are in. Some models are designed for high volume, thin margins. Others are designed for lower volume and higher margins. So the question isn't just how much do franchise owners make? It's more, what does the owner keep in this model after reality hits? Let's talk realistic ranges once a business is stabilized. Not week 2, not month 3, when it's stabilized. So a small owner-operator service franchise, typically $60,000 to $150,000 take home. Strong operators in the right territory, $150,000 to $300,000. Manager run, semi-absentee, can be lower per unit, but scalable. Multi-unit owners can push $300,000 to $1 million plus, but that's leadership, systems, and execution, not passive income, until much later. Here's the line most people skip. If you want semi-absentee, part-time ownership, you need a model where the margins can afford a manager and still leave you profit. If you ignore that line item, the cash flow vanishes. Stick with me. I got some examples coming. Now, here are the examples, not promises, examples of why the model plus economics matter. And I'm saying this clearly. Verify everything in the FDD, validate with franchisees, talk to me, and understand your market. But here's what's possible in the right systems. My real-life examples. Home service exits. There are operators in the HVAC space who have built big businesses to major exits. I know of many situations where owners have exited an HVAC franchise, 1 hour, for $40 million and even more. And these were franchisees of 1 hour, heating and air. And this doesn't happen by accident. Systems, leadership, and scale. It's built into the model. StormGuard Roofing and Restoration. I helped franchisees years ago with this brand. Around the $250,000 all-in investment. Examples of really strong net income performance. Top performers in this brand are doing $5 million plus and net over $1.1 million. Home Helpers, $27 million for the top franchisee last year. Strong net percentages across the brand. Typically 20% net is attainable. Second year average revenue, $1.9 million on just a $150,000 investment. Again, this is why I like models where you can build real enterprise value. Schoolie Mitchell, low cost, $75,000 investment. Top performers are netting $300,000. I know some that do $1 million and some that have exited for over $1 million. And this is an example of a model that can produce strong income without big overhead. Rolling suds. What I like here is the unit expansion logic. If a truck can do $400,000 in revenue and net $100,000 or $125,000 essentially per truck, the math works. And it's not just owning a business, it's owning a fleet. The founders' territory is in Pennsylvania. 1.9 million is what they have disclosed for their portion of the year they actually operate. It's frozen over some months in Pennsylvania. 35% EBITDA is what they've reported. Amazing. Citywide Facility Solutions is next. Top 25% of franchisees do $22 million a year in revenue. Average franchisees, just average, are doing $8.9 million in revenue. Now, net income in this B2B brand using third-party vendors is just 10%, but $350,000 investment for a large territory and almost $900,000 net, I think that's acceptable. But this is why B2B gets so much love. Bigger accounts, repeat contracts, enterprise value, recurring revenue, beautiful. Mosquito Nix, pest control, seasonal holiday decorations. The model is based on the original 5 corporate territories doing over $5 million, $5.5 million in revenue with a net over $2.2 million. Now, Top Rail Fence. Morris called me last week. I helped him. He did over $1 million in his first year while he's still employed. He kept his job. It is possible. This is a great story because it highlights something real. The right model can be built strategically. When the operation structure is tight, you hire a great GM, anything's possible. Great Clips Hair Salons. My friends have 19 locations. They net over $70,000 a location. That's $1.3 million in income, and it all started with one location and a $200,000 SBA loan, and that's leverage. Wingstop, I live this. I owned a whole bunch. If a store can net $200,000-$300,000 when it's run right, that's why operators flock to the brand. When you can execute, build real income and real wealth. Typical Wingstop for me in the old days was $350,000 to open. I'm sure it's gone up dramatically since, and you probably can't get them anymore, but that's a whole other story. If you want to increase what you make as a franchise owner, you pull what I call the 3 levers. Lever number 1, it's all about the model and the margin structure. I did better than some people at Wingstop. And some categories simply have more room. Labor heavy, high overhead. They compress the profit. Lever number 2, the owner role. Are you an operator full-time versus are you a CEO? If you're hands-on early, you can make more money because you're replacing payroll. If you're absentee or trying to be a CEO too early, you're buying a business that must run without you. So the unit economics must be a lot stronger. Lever number 3, or is it lever? The territory and local economics. Same brand, different city, could be a different outcome. Labor costs, population density, competition, lead flow changes, the math, especially in home service brands. Dunkin' failed in Las Vegas, where I live, quite a few times. Yet in their home territory in the New England area, they kill it. It's amazing. It's an institution. Stop asking how much do franchise owners make. Like it's one number. Start asking these 4 questions about any franchise that you are considering. Number 1, what's the average revenue at maturity? Ask existing franchisees. 2, what's the real margin owners keep? Ask existing franchisees. It's usually not in the FDD. Number 3, can it support a manager if I don't want to be in it daily? And number 4, what's the payback timeline? And how will I fund it? And add this one if you're serious about wealth. The 5th one. What's the equity story? Have there been exits? Could this be worth 3 times or 4 times cash flow or more if I build it right? If you want help applying this to your income goal, your lifestyle goal, and your budget, DM me. DM me fit, because you're not finding a business. You are finding a fit. Thanks for watching.